Believe it or not, I wasn't going to say a single solitary word about this teaser, if you want to call it that was released on Super Bowl Sunday. And that was for a couple of reasons. For one, there's really not much I could say about it that hasn't been said already. And two, at this point, I almost feel like the marketing for this film is being intentionally goofy in one big orchestrated attempt to troll the people that they know will criticize it. But once again, it's the reaction to this teaser that's all the more interesting and all the more telling as we creep closer and closer to Superman's release. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So Super Bowl Sunday has come and gone, and it is a day that has proven to be pretty miserable for some people. I mean, Swifties are in absolute shambles. Drake and Drake fans are probably crying in a corner somewhere, or preparing a defamation lawsuit case as we speak. And you could also argue that James Gunn fans, or just people who are looking forward to Superman in general, were left feeling a little bit underwhelmed. And this was due to the lack of reveals either before, during, or after the big game. Now, it's been talked about extensively how WB chose to go the Puppy Bowl route this year, and there has been a lot of speculation as to whether or not that is because they are trying to reach a certain audience, or WB is just more broke than we thought they were. Now, I don't personally have an issue with the Puppy Bowl thing, because ultimately it went to supporting a good cause. I mean, pet adoption or rescue is something that I'm quite passionate about myself, and I wouldn't dare criticize that decision now, understanding what the ultimate goal was. What I did find interesting, however, was how a certain group of individuals went out of their way to defend this decision in the most ridiculous way possible. Basically saying that a Super Bowl ad would have been a waste of money because The Flash had a Super Bowl ad and it did nothing to actually help the performance of the film. Yes, but the people who say that are forgetting one very important detail. The most important detail. That being that the movie being advertised actually has to be good as well. Or at least look desirable to potential customers. Now, Flash didn't do that, so yes, that was a massive waste of money.
Talk to you soon, okay? Bye!
And this leads to speculation that, is it possible that WB doesn't have a lot of confidence in Superman and don't want to spend too much money on it when it comes to marketing? At the end of the day, it didn't really matter because nothing new was shown for Superman anyway. I doubt the Puppy Bowl thing will impact the box office all that much. So once again, it resulted in a whole lot of fans arguing over basically nothing. What we did get much later in the day was a teaser that featured Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner that was released on social media. And no, unfortunately, it wasn't a teaser of Guy Gardner doing some cool Green Lantern shit in the movie. I mean, why would you want to try to entice people with something like that, am I right? No, the teaser featured Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner posing and making stupid faces, looking as ridiculous as ever in that cosplay outfit and that god-awful haircut.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Please, everyone, try to hold back your excitement after this game-changing reveal. This is what the marketing for this film has come to. They are basically leaning into the goofy shit and doubling down on something that the internet has already made a mockery of 10 times over.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I mean, what the f*** are we actually doing here, honestly? Logically, does this seem like the best course of action to try to sell this movie? Logically, does this seem like the best way to sell people on the prospect of Guy Gardner not being as stupid as he looked in the initial trailer? And please, for the love of God, do not come to me and say that he's supposed to look stupid because that's his character. There are numerous examples of this character not looking stupid in the comics. You're just being very selective about what you remember. Yes, I've seen Guy Gardner in the comics, and even with a ridiculous haircut, he never looked as stupid as he did in this teaser. I love it when people only care about comic accuracy when it's convenient for their argument. If you are okay with this because you are of the opinion that goofy shit in the comics should stay goofy in live action, then I encourage you to consider the possibility that not everything in the comic books is worthy of a live action adaptation.
It's true.
We all know that this is deflection, It is being used to make excuses for an abysmal effort when bringing this character to life. That being said, I know I'm just a hater and I know I never give anything a chance and blah 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 blah, but how do you explain most of the internet absolutely roasting this reveal on top of whatever I'm saying? Even people who were actually optimistic about this movie just a short time ago. How exactly will you explain away all of their criticisms? Here are some of the reactions to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Like this one, who the f*** is in charge of promoting this movie? Or WB marketing is in shambles, what the f*** is this? So DC is a joke now? We're back in Batman and Robin territory? Sure, it sells toys, but the films are kinda don't want to watch it anymore because of this. This is MODOK levels of cringe, so don't come here with, he's supposed to look goofy, cause that doesn't change anything, I'm sorry. Imagine for a second a person who isn't constantly online and has no idea about the ridiculous fan war that goes on daily. Do you really think that a regular everyday dude sitting in his breakfast nook on a Monday morning, seeing this shit and justifiably criticizing it, is also considered a toxic person? Please, I need to understand, because anyone with any level of standards could see that this is embarrassing levels of cringe. It's actually starting to look Thor Love and Thunder levels of bad, which I ironically called the Batman and Robin of the modern era because of how both of those movies set back the comic book movie genre by years. But of course, that's not going to stop some people from defending it. And let me be clear once again, because some people seem to not understand what videos like this are really about. If you genuinely don't have a problem with this, and you are still excited to see Superman, then more power to you. My problem, as always, comes when the people who want to praise this shit do it in the most disingenuous way possible. Or they just flat out try to insult everyone who doesn't feel the same way that they do.
Why are you the way that you are?
And that's the problem right there. Everyone's entitled to their opinion until they say something that they don't agree with. Like Gabe here, who said, it's just so f***ing peak. I'm so glad they made Guy look stupid as f***. Now I can't tell if this is Reaction Joe's burner account, or a bot, or possibly both. We are at the point where someone openly admits that something looks f***ing stupid, and yet still it is peak to this person, whatever the f*** that means. This either has to be the worst troll ever, or someone who is completely out of touch with what a movie is supposed to be. And then we have this imbecile who says Christopher Nolan did so much to damage the comic book industry, like imagine calling a joke character goofy.
You serious?
No, I think people like you did a lot to damage the comic book industry because you are so complacent. Why do these people blame Christopher Nolan every time a movie studio puts out a shitty comic book movie? This is not the first time this has happened. It couldn't possibly be because something about the movie was absolute garbage. No, it's because Christopher Nolan took Batman too seriously. If Christopher Nolan is guilty of anything, he is guilty of making audiences raise their standards, because he showed everyone what a comic book movie could be. And no, that doesn't mean that everything has to be dark and grounded like the Dark Knight trilogy, you f***ing idiots. A lot of people, including myself, praise Sam Raimi's Spider-Man just as much as we do Nolan's Batman. Tell me, was Raimi's Spider-Man dark and grounded? No, it was actually quite comic booky and even campy at times. But it fit the character. Taking a character seriously does not mean that you have to make them dark and brooding. It means presenting a character in a way that is both appropriate for what we know about them, and in a way that is both visually and narratively appealing in a different storytelling medium.
That makes sense.
Christopher Nolan elevated the genre, and people like Taika Waititi, or yes, even James Gunn, are making it come crashing back down to earth in the worst way possible. To me, this is embarrassing, and WB should be ashamed of themselves for promoting this movie, this very important movie, in this way. And the Shills should be just as embarrassed for allowing them to do it and refusing to hold them accountable.
Y'all be cool. Right on.